like we never grew up like that.
Hi, I'm Brenda Farnel, and Christian is my maiden name. And I think I was maybe my early teens is when we moved to Prairie because we lived in between Cargajou and Keg River. My mom's parents came from originally from Fort, but then they resided here in Keg River. My grandfather was from Romania, and my grandmother was from northern Alberta. Both grandmothers did a lot of beadwork and that, you know, so yeah. They grew these amazing gardens, you know, like everything was all homegrown, you know, and I remember working with them when they tanned the moose hides and that, you know, and helping us kids and that. And my grandma Christian there, I used to go and help them pick syrup from the trees and that. And we used to have these little honey pails and we'd hang them on the trees. I used to go help her collect them all and that, yeah. That was awesome. Yeah. Back in the day when we were growing up, we used to come skating out here a lot. Used to come in carloads, truckloads. You know, we did, you know, we'd be brought there and we'd skate and do whatever. We used to have sports stuff going on, summer and winter time. And then, you know, like I said, though, back then, you know, you could fill up a car with 10 people and, you know, never get charged for it. We used to play hide and go seek in vehicles. At that time, the lights, you had to turn the lights off. Now you can't do that. We'd turn off the lights and then every once in a while you'd flicker your lights to see where the other vehicles are. And that would be a bunch of us doing that. Not just certain ones, but it would be a bunch of us from the whole community. Like, you know, it was fun. It was good times. We used to go to school by dog sled in the wintertime. Summertime, we used to have to be taken across by boat. And then because we lived across the river in Cargajou, you know, and then we used to go swimming, go to these dugouts, you know, or the river and go swimming as a whole family, go berry picking together as families. But we don't do that anymore. When it probably switched after I was gone, you know, because before I left, it was still like that. When I left here in 75. I lost my son, and my uncle was living out in Moose Jaw. He happened to come out here and he saw how down and out I was and figured maybe he'd get me away from this community. And so him and his wife took me, and then I ended up in Moose Jaw. And that's where I ended up meeting my husband. I lived out in Moose Jaw until early 90s. Lived in Manning for a bit, for a couple months. I thought, no, I don't like this. And that's when I ended up moving to Edmonton until 2005. What drew me to help? I got invited to a prison. They were having some kind of a round dance. And I'm sitting there observing the people, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Like, these are such nice people, even though for the crimes they've done. When they did that crime, it was either because they were high or drunk or whatever, like, and now that they're sober, like, you can't wish for better people with a heart, eh? And I thought, you know, that's what I need to do. I need to get out there and maybe work with people on that. The Native people seem to say, okay, yes, I did that. I did wrong. Like, yes, I know I have to change my ways. I took the course for social work purposely, which was a 2-year diploma. My main goal at that time was going as an addiction counselor. Ended up getting on with Action North there, eh? When I left here, I thought, I don't want to have nothing to do with back there. Well, you know, I came back and I'm thinking, you know what, that's my culture, that's my, you know, nationality. I have to go and fulfill it, like, and that's the same with my daughters and granddaughters, like, they don't look Native. I brought them up believing in their culture of being Métis because I was brought up that way. My dad always said, you know what, you're born a Métis, he says, you die as a Métis. And I really believe that. And so that's how I brought my children up. But like back in the day too, like, you know, when you act a certain way, oh, don't act like a white man. Or then you act, sometimes, oh, don't act like an Indian. Like, okay, well, how do I act then, you know? I've dealt with people that have heavy addictions that their family wasn't. into their alcohol or their drugs or anything. So it's not the upbringing a lot of times, and sometimes I used to think, could it be the influence of who you're hanging out with and what they're doing? Boredom, it's hard to say. It is hard to say, or it could be the way they grew up. Or you never know, maybe something happened when they were young and something that they couldn't deal with. And that is why I try to bring up this about the mental health. Well, and I know back in the day, sure, it used to be drinking and that, but there wasn't ever as much problems as what we are having now. And since the drugs came in, it's gotten worse, and it's crazy because we are losing people because of the drugs, overdose, killings, our people, we have to try to save, not save, but protect our people. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, trying to help. I feel so sad about our community because of so much drugs. And we've lost so many people from here. We're from the community, but sure, they were in Edmonton when it happened, but still, because this is still my home. This is my heart, yeah. Well, and at that time too, also, I got thinking, you know what? I've been gone for so many years. My parents are getting old, I'd kind of like to be around them too. So, in coming back here, I was able to be with them for the last part of their life with us on earth, When we've lost the main person of the community, and families split up. Like my grandmother, for one thing, both grandmothers, people always used to go to their place. The family would go together. When we lost my grandma Ferguson, the family all spread out, So Grandma Christian, we're basically all still around, but still, but when we lost my grandma Ferguson, the family split up a lot there. And that's sad. Because they were the main, they were the heart for everybody, right? And like I said, then when I came back, it was totally different. You could feel it, the atmosphere. Before, people were always happy to see each other. You always had that respect of shaking a hand or giving a hug and that. And now we've lost a lot of trust. We've lost a lot of respect. We've lost a lot of our traditional stuff. And that hurts, we weren't the traditional dancers and that. We were into the jigging. We were the fiddle. We liked the fiddle and still do, so. But now they're trying to bring the traditional dancing and all that to us. That's not how we were brought up. We weren't brought up that way. We were brought up with the Métis, the big diddle, jigging and whatnot, Yeah, no, we've lost a lot of that, big time. And back then, people used to share, kill the moose, share within the community or someone, to their family at least. Now you never see that. I would wish it to be back the way it used to be. Everybody having respect for each other. Everybody being a community, working together. Nobody being higher than anybody else. And that's why I feel with my job. I'm not trying to make myself up there. I'm trying to make myself be at the same level as everybody else. I believe I'm at the same level as everybody else. And I wish that's what we would get back here. That, I think, would be, it would, it would make our ancestors happy by bringing that all back. Yeah.